Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Hope you're doing well. We'll continue our reading of Tafseer As Sa'di. So when I was reading this, I found it quite nerdy because it has a lot to do with some recent events. We are on Baqarah 233, and the ayat is, mothers may breastfeed their children for 2 whole years for those who wish to complete the full term of breastfeeding. It is the obligation of the one to whom the child belongs to provide food and clothing for them, the mothers, on equitable basis. No soul should have a burden laid on it greater than it can bear. No mother should be made to suffer harm on account of her child, nor any father on account of his child, and the same duty is incumbent on the heir. If they both decide on weaning by mutual consent and after due consultation, there is no blame on them, and if you wish to provide a wet nurse for your children, there is no blame on you, provided you pay the wet nurse what you agreed upon on an equitable basis. But fear Allah, and know that Allah sees well all that you do. So he mentions here that Allah stipulates that it should be 2 whole or complete years. Now, what I find very curious is this is mentioned in the Quran, nursing. Now, I know you might be saying, baby formula wasn't invented then. But think about it. Allah could have just said nothing at all. So this kind of just shows to me that the nursing is preferred. But today you see the opposite. Women will feed their kid powdered crap made by lab coats so they can chase money. I mean, there's some people who can't nurse because they have some defect. I think women are losing the ability to nurse because they're not doing it. Their mothers didn't do it, they're not doing it, and if their children doesn't do it, you gotta wonder if they'll be able to keep up the capacity with that genetic trait. But to me, when there's this formula crisis where the supply chains don't have the formula coming through, and sadly, people are saying we should have less regulation for formula so that we can have more products, which makes kids less safe, because if it's not more regulated, we're going to have a problem. It just shows me that nursing is the superior way. And just so you know, it doesn't matter the size. Your milk ducts will produce as you have to produce. You just can't give up. And there's nothing perverted about it. It's something natural. So for me, it's amazing how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions this. Right? It just goes to show you that He gave us those 2 milk bags for a reason. It wasn't just to entice men. Was to feed your little cute baby. And now when there's an economic crisis and good women are pumping extra and donating their milk to milk banks, we're seeing some help for the women who decided to be more selfish or put career first. So this further got me to thinking about women who stay home and nurse and give up materialism have done something more beautiful in the eyes of Allah, because they nursed, rather than the women who didn't even nurse from day 2. They just said, okay, pop that kid full of formula, I'm back to work, baby, after 6 weeks, when they could have stayed home. Really kind of goes to show you priorities. Now here, there's another interesting point, and it says, and his bearing and weaning take 30 months. It is understood that the minimum length of pregnancy is 6 months, at which stage a child may be born. That's pretty. 6 months is a premature baby. But preemies can survive. I find that to be quite interesting. He also says here, to provide food and clothing for them, the mothers, on equitable basis. This is applicable whether she is still married to him or is divorced. See, I found that pretty interesting. So even if you divorce the guy, he's still required to make sure you can nurse. Where the feminists will say, I don't need no man. I can be a single woman. I'm going to go to work. They give their kid formula. But if you see how Islam has a superior system where it's like, yep, okay, you're going to divorce this woman. She wants to nurse. So she doesn't have to go to work and all this stuff. You will provide for that maintenance. That just shows you how important breastfeeding is. Because Allah has stipulated it, and Allah has made the man to take care of the woman whether they're married or not. So you're really seeing how nursing your baby is very important. Now, don't listen to the fake news who is saying formula is better than breast milk, because breast milk has literally kept us alive for thousands of years, and Allah designed it. Don't let the atheists trick you into thinking that they can make a product that's better when the kids swallow more air in those baby bottles, and they get colicky and scream and cry and have bad digestion. And think about it. Would you want to eat a bowl of cereal every day? The same flavor of formula every day? Whatever I eat, the flavor of the milk changes, even the color, right? It tastes way better for the baby than some powdered crap mixed with water. You kidding me? It's so cruel. Utterly cruel. It continues. The father has to give her maintenance by spending on her and clothing her. That is her payment for breastfeeding. It's amazing. That's a true female right. The right to nurse and to be taken care of. He continues. This indicates that if she is still married to him, she is not entitled to any payment other than the maintenance and clothing, each one according to his means. Hence, Allah As-Sawajal says, no soul should have the burden laid on it greater than it can bear. So he goes further and then explains that a poor man isn't required to spend like a rich man, and someone who's poor, who can't afford to pay it, he can't be forced until he can afford to do it. So it's very important to make sure you're with someone who can at least do the bare minimum, right? Because nursing is important. And a lot of people can do it. They just find it inconvenient to their party, free-range lifestyle. That's what I've noticed with a lot of those women. They rather use their breasts in a sexual way than to feed their kid. Their minds have been torn apart by pornography and feminism to the point where they don't even realize how powerful it is to have food bags on you 24/7. Now, he continues, no mother should be made to suffer harm on account of her child, nor any father on account of his child. That is, it is not permissible to cause harm to the mother because of her child. Now here, this is cool because if you have a grudge with each other, it shows you that you're not supposed to be harmful to her because of the baby. Either by preventing her from breastfeeding him, or by not giving what she is entitled to of maintenance, clothing, or payment. Look at that. That's amazing, man. So, even if he hates her, he can't prevent her from breastfeeding. How beautiful is that? That's so beautiful. You have no idea. Nor any father on account of his child, by refusing to breastfeed him in a way that hurts the father. See how beautiful that is? So if an evil feminist hijabi says, I want to go back to my job, and she's like, I'm not going to breastfeed, it's gross, I just want to look good, give the baby crappy formula, and it hurts, and the father's like, I want my kid to have proper nutrition, please feed my son. If she doesn't do it and it's causing the father harm and the baby harm, she is sinful. So it has things for both the mother who wants to nurse and the father who wants the child to be nursed. You see how beautiful that is? How it just talks about how the scholar and the Quran just really show you how breastfeeding is this beautiful thing. I advocate for it. I've done it. I will do anything I can to nurse my future children And if anyone else's kid is starving, you never know if I'm in a war zone or something, you never know. I'll do what I can. If I have milk, I'm sharing. Continues. The phrase, the one to whom the child belongs, indicates that the child belongs to the father, because the child is a gift that is given to him, and because he is part of his earnings. That I found very unique, because I think of the child as being mine, since it came from my body. But here it's different. And it also tells us that well-off relatives are to help spend on those who are in need in their family. And then it also points out how that both parents have to decide on weaning, and they both have to agree. And if one does not agree, and it's not in the child's best interest, then it's not permissible to wean them before the age of 2 years. So we have to have mutual consent. See how it talks about the man and the woman working together, having communication, coming to a mutual agreement. They can't harm each other. It's not like how the feminists and the red pillars make men and women the enemies of each other. You see something quite different here. And then he ends it with, but fear Allah, and know that Allah sees well all that you do, and He will requite you for that, rewarding good deeds and punishing bad deeds. So, just amazing. The child being a gift. Did you catch that? The child is a gift that is given to him. So when you see these male feminists marching in abortion rallies, they don't see the child as a gift. Islam calls the child a gift, gives the child rights to be breastfed. How amazing. And it gives women the right to breastfeed and fathers the right to make their women nurse. And it also says that if you want a wet nurse, you should pay her. I mean, it has everything covered. It's awesome. It's so freaking cool. It's so much wisdom, man. I'm telling you. So if you see any ridiculous feminist hijabi who thinks you don't have to breastfeed, that formula is superior, tell her to check out this one. 2233 of Tafseer As Sa'di. Hopefully her heart will get softened. She will stay away from dirty feminist liberal atheists, and she will soften her heart, nurse, and not seek materialism over her child's nutrition, or buy into the propaganda of paying for formula when you literally just gotta wake up, put a little bit of water, nurse your baby goes to sleep, put a little water, put a little olive oil to keep your nips moisturized, and then boom, drink water, eat food, bam, you got your milk. Free of charge. No boiling bottles, drying bottles, carrying bottles around. Nope, just stay home for a little while, have less fancy things. You got your clothes, you got your shampoo products. Yeah, you may not be able to go out and party with your girlfriends, but you still will be able to provide healthy nutrition for your baby. And I'll always be a supporter of breastfeeding. Always. I think that's one of the reasons why I had such poor nutrition as a baby, because my mom never nursed because she had breast implants. And she said it hurt because the fake boobs got in the way. So it's like, wow. And when I nursed my little one, she did just so good. It was such a great experience. She was such a strong child, didn't give up on nursing because it, exercises their jaw. It's amazing. I felt like a real woman. Don't let these women who don't nurse shame you. It's a powerful, wonderful thing. You burn a lot of calories too. Helps prevent breast cancer. It's amazing. And you can feel the milk when it comes in. It tickles. It's just amazing. When you see cows nursing, dogs nursing, cats nursing, chimpanzees, gorillas, baboons, lions, tigers, bears, you see the horses, donkeys, and you see camels, And then you realize we have the same capacity. You know, it's amazing. It's just so cool. Just amazing. And all those women who nurse other babies are heroes. Women who breastfeed are heroes. And I love it that Allah mentioned it in His holy book. It's just so wonderful. And it makes men be protectors and providers of women. So we have the right to do it. And it creates so much bonding. When you have your baby in their little diaper on your skin, and they're on your skin, and you wrap yourselves in a little towel, and your baby falls asleep after nursing, and you both take a nap together. Your baby doesn't swallow air and scream and cry because their mouth is latched right onto the skin, and they breathe through their nose, they don't swallow air. It's just, it's amazing. And it's just fun when you eat different food, like you eat some steak, you know, you have a nice cup of goat milk, have a nice cucumber with vinegar, whatever. It's like your kid has a different flavor of milk with, you know, different levels of vitamins and stuff based upon how healthy you eat. Just like a cow. You get good quality milk from a healthy cow, good quality milk from a healthy goat. And if you eat healthy, drink plenty of water, you'll create some of the best milk for your child, way better than powdered crap in a can. It's a beautiful thing. To stay home and nurse your child is the act of a hero. Instead of choosing your title and your job and money and getting your nails done or whatever other crap you waste your money on. It's amazing. It's just so amazing. I like seeing the videos of women all over the world, even though they're so poor, they're nursing their kids and still walking about. They're just heroes, man. And breastfeeding is made so special in Islam. We have so much rights. So much rights. That's how you know Allah is the most wise. Because He covered something so important